So every time I look at YouTube videos about books, I hear people say that certain books have changed their lives. And I've always been pretty critical of this. That's why I was very surprised to find that one book has actually changed mine. Hello everyone, my name is Steven and I am a first-year dental student. I want this YouTube channel to contain many things, but all of these things should be beneficial to the lives of young students and young people in general, like myself. I have wanted to talk about Spark by Dr. John Ratey for a long time because it is the single strongest resource that I have found for exercise motivation. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how this very book allowed me to run around 400 miles in 6 months, lose just under 20 pounds, and become happier and healthier than I've been in many years. So, what is Spark? What exactly is this book and what is it about? Well, as you can see on the cover, Spark is basically about exercise. But more specifically, it's about the effects that exercise has on the human brain. So Dr. John Ratey is a physician and an expert in neuropsychiatry. And his purpose for writing this book was basically to sum up years of research that he has seen on the effects of exercise on the human brain. Let's actually do this. That'd be kind of nice, huh? That's beautiful. So in this book, Spark, Dr. John Ratey proves to us time and time again throughout the book that the many ailments that people face in their lives these days can be solved by one simple thing. It's simple, but it seems difficult at times, and that is a life shift that embraces exercise as the cure to most, if not all, ailments that are both physical and psychological in nature. The format of this book is one of the reasons why I loved it so much, but it's also the main reason that while written by someone as intelligent as Dr. Ratey, it's truly accessible to any reader. Dr. Ratey begins in Spark by discussing the changes made by the administration at Naperville Central High School when they realized that students' performance in the classroom could be massively impacted by physical exercise. To sum this up, teachers realized that students who engaged in physical activity before carrying out classroom normalcies like note-taking, reading, writing, and of course test-taking were much better equipped to excel in all of these endeavors. Well, what does this suggest? Well, it suggests that there's a very strong correlation between physical exercise and the activity of the brain. After opening his discussion of this topic with school children, Dr. Ratey moves forward in time a bit to discuss the rest of society. The chapters of Dr. Ratey's book sort of take a chronological format as he discusses stress, depression, aging, dependency and addiction, as well as common attention disorders that give countless people trouble. The constant in the entire discussion is that exercise, through a complex pathway, allows for the regrowth and reestablishment of the entire neural network. By going out and running or doing jumping jacks at home, we're basically able to stimulate the release of neurotropic factors, or growth factors that can harbor neuronal development. This means that we essentially grow brain cells, along with strengthening the synaptic connections between these cells. I was absolutely fascinated by these findings, and once I started the book, I absolutely couldn't put it down. My favorite chapter of this book discusses the topic of stress, and I recently made a very informal video of me just discussing this topic because I'm a dental student and therefore a very busy person who's quite familiar with stress. And also, if you want to check that out, I don't think YouTube allows me to do the cool little information card thing at the top, but the video will be linked at the end. There are many stressors in my life, but exercise has become something that allows me to remove myself from these stressors and find relief and distance from the stress itself. In Dr. Ratey's discussion of stress, he quotes the importance of stressing ourselves just enough with exercise. Have you ever heard someone say that muscles get sore after exercise because they break down and then build back up stronger again? Well, of course, this is true, and we've known this for a very long time. When we exercise, we literally tear our muscle cells, but Through a sort of a complex network, they're able to build themselves back up. And when they do so, they're typically a little bit stronger than they were before. I was very surprised to find that neurons of the brain, which are of course the cells of our brain, they actually function in a very similar fashion. Dr. Ratey discusses the hippocampi of multiple patients and explains that minor amounts of stress, akin to what is placed on the brain during exercise, allowed for the active propagation of neurons in the region. This whole concept is called neurogenesis, and the effects are seemingly endless. Via this process, we can expect faster and more thorough cognition, improved memory, heightened decision-making, and better chances to avoid neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. It's pretty amazing stuff, right? My favorite quote from the entire book comes from the same stress chapter and reads as follows. In the context of stress, the great paradox of the modern age may be that there is not more hardship, just more news and too much of it. The 24/7 streaming torrent of tragedy and demands flashing at us from an array of digital displays keeps the amygdala flying. The negative and the hectic and the hopeless heap on the stress, but we figure we can handle it because we always have, up to a point. Then we just want to relax and take a break, so we grab a drink and plop down in front of the TV or go sit on a beach somewhere. It's no wonder that obesity has doubled in the past 20 years. Our lifestyle today is both more stressful and more sedentary. How accurate is this? I mean, we live in a very stressful and difficult world, and at times it feels like the weight of this world is completely on our own shoulders. Dr. Ratey shows us that there is a cure, and virtually everybody has the ability to exercise this cure. So why do I say that this book has changed my life? Well, I've always been a very active person, and growing up as a child, I played 2 sports for many years and ended up continuing with one of those sports, which was lacrosse, into college for a year. However, after hanging up the skates and the cleats, I struggled for multiple years in undergrad to find the motivation to exercise regularly. I knew that exercise was important, but I didn't realize how truly life-giving it is. I didn't realize that I wouldn't just lose weight and appear fitter after exercising. There's actually way more to it than that. Exercise would allow me to perform better in the classroom, handle stress and anxiety with no problem, steer clear of dependency and addiction, and to avoid being a candidate of a slew of diseases that affect both the heart and the brain. After reading this book, I established a new relationship with exercise, and since then, I've run over 400 miles, lost roughly 15 to 20 pounds, and I've become happier than I have been in a long time. I don't think that I've ever been clearer or happier, and I don't know that I've ever felt physically better. And the key to all of this is that the motivation that I have to continue exercising comes from my intimate knowledge of how it affects the brain, and that all comes from this wonderful book. Dr. Ratey gave me the gift of a happier life with this book, and if you're on the fence on reading it, trust me, you should go ahead and get it. Go out, get it, and read it. I promise your eyes will be open to the powers of physical fitness. And who knows, your life might be affected in a very positive way, just like mine has been. Guys, as always, thank you so very much for watching this video. I hope you learned a few things about exercise, the power of exercise, and how this book can help you with motivation. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, please consider clicking one of the videos that's on the screen right now. This is some of the other content that I've put out about my life and what I'm going through. And always remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, and to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more that's coming in the very near future. I appreciate every single one of you so very much. I can't even describe it. I know that it's early on in this YouTube channel, but you all mean the most to me, and the subscriber number keeps going up, so that makes me very happy. I appreciate you all. Keep subscribing and liking and keep watching, and I will see you next time.